The celebrations are also planned at various places across Sri Lanka. The Sita Amman temple at Sita Elia, which is believed to be the place where goddess Sita was held captive by Ravan, is one such place where devotees are participating in special pujas. Celebrations are being held at other temples as well, including Sri Bhakta Hanuman temple at Ramboda, though puja followed by a procession and Annadan. Further, Chinmay Mission in Colombo has also planned to have special prayers, chanting of Shotam for Lord Ram. Sri Lanka is closely linked with India as part of Ramayan Trail, as Lord Ram is believed to have visited Sri Lanka to save Sita, who was held captive by King Ravan. Lord Ram is also believed to have installed Shivalingas at 3 places in Sri Lanka after defeating Ravan.
And also today, on the occasion of the consecration ceremony of the Ram temple, excitement is mounting amongst the public in New York as well. These are the visuals of iconic Times Square. Laddus distributed by members of the Overseas Friends of Ram Mandir at Times Square ahead of the ceremony. In Ayodhya, the entire city is infused with Ramdhun as people are eagerly awaiting the historic event. The excitement is also mounting among the public in New York on this grand occasion. And the kind of saffron splurge you see there, Shubhendu, people holding those iconic flags. You get to see these flags now, not only in Ayodhya, New York, but I think everywhere in the country.
Little girl in sari also dancing to the tunes. Those are visuals
the marketplaces, the streets, even people have decided to have these flags in their balconies in India. I'm sure in the other states as well, this could be a common sight in societies here. Mankalalji, as we stay with these visuals, you know, a bit about this, this whole sentiment. I mean, you go out, it's like a celebration today.
It's all out celebration for the last several days, not just today. Anywhere you go, you are finding people excited, people buying all kinds of things to be presented in temples and all that. And also, you people are from visual media. Have you found one television channel which is running anything else than Ram Janmabhoomi and Ram Temple issue? That's the kind of enthusiasm, that's kind of feeling, that's kind of inbuilt thing towards Lord Ram is there, that everybody is talking about almost every aspect of Lord Ram's life and this temple. That is the beauty here. And remember, Lord Ram's statue is not being installed. Statues are being built all around the world from the stone. India and Hinduism is the only belief and faith in which stone gets pran pratishtha, and the moment pran pratishtha is there, that stone is no longer a stone or a small statue.
These are the visuals from
himself.
New Jersey. Hanuman's statue, Lord Hanuman's.
Sri Sai Balaji Temple and Cultural Center in Monroe, New Jersey. It has received a 25-foot Lord Hanuman idol, the largest indoor statue of Hanuman in the United States. The temple's chairman, Sri Surya Narayan Madula, and other community leaders expressed joy over the coincidence of the arrival of the idol, along with the ongoing celebrations of Ram Lalla in Ayodhya. They feel blessed to be able to celebrate this consecration ceremony together.
And from New Jersey, let's move on to Boston. Celebrations are also on in full swing across the world over the consecration ceremony of the temple. In Boston, people are seen singing, dancing on devotional songs and celebrating the arrival of Lord Ram in Ayodhya Dham, which is in the Uttar Pradesh, state Uttar Pradesh in India. And from Boston to Carolina, where the Indian community is immersed in the colors of devotion of Lord Ram. The Hindu center of Charlotte celebrated ahead of the consecration ceremony, along with the people chanting Jai Shri Ram and wishing well for the grand ceremony. There's a video from the Indian community here. Let's listen in.
This welcoming back of Ram Rajya. Hindu Center is glad to be part of this opening ceremony. We are all excited. There are many volunteers helping everywhere to make these events happen. We just concluded the Ram Leela, which was played by our kids. Total production was done here at the Hindu Center. We have cultural program. There will be a Tesla lighting show after the cultural program. Then the evening we have to celebrate like Diwali atmosphere. We will have lighting of Diya. Of course, Prasad will be served. Tomorrow we are doing Ram Bhagwan Abhisekam beginning 5 o'clock. Then Tuesday evening we are reading Uttarakhand beginning noon, followed by the Amritwani Bhajans to celebrate Ram Bhagwan's temple's opening and welcoming back Ram Rajyam. I have our priests here, Dushyant Bhai and Raghavanji. We have 10 priests. They are representing our 10 priests. Om Namo Namo Bhavati Jagavano Nangetam Rishamityagre Bhagam Devebhyo Vidatabhyagam Prasandrama Sirati Dhirghamayu Shri Rama Rama Ramiti Rami Rami Manorami Sahasranama Tattulyam Rama Nama Varanani Shri Rama Rama Ramiti Rami Rami Manorami Sahasranama Tattulyam Rama Nama Varanani Shri Rama Rama Ramiti Rami Rami Manorami Sahasranama Tattulyam Rama Nama Varanani Shri Rama Nama Varanana Om Namahiti Jai Sri Ram. Jai Sri Ram. And we have volunteers here who are having
So there's little India everywhere today. I mean, the colors of India,
Absolutely.
the colors of devotion.
And we get you all those celebrations through the day as Ayodhya gears up for the consecration of Shri Ram temple. Professor
clock is
Makkanlal,
ticking, yes.
as we conclude our conversation with you, why don't you leave us with your most memorable anecdote from Ramayana that guides your day-to-day work and life?
2 incidents.
Sure.
One I have
Yes.
already narrated. I always get in tears when issue of Pandodari Ram face to face, her husband dead. Ram's composition, even at that time of war. And second is, entire Ayodhya with Bharat is in Chitrakoot. Everybody comes him to beg that a mistake has happened. Kaikeyi has taken her vow back from Dashrath, returned back, and he says no. Ideal has to be established in the life of people. I have to follow rule of law. I have to follow the dictates of law. I have to follow the natural justice. And he says no. Bharat should go and rule. And there, just look at this. Bharat does not go to Ayodhya. Nandigram is almost about 15 kilometers away from Ayodhya. He rules Ayodhya from Nandigram, saying, Ayodhya is not my capital, it's capital of Lord Ram. I have no right to sit there. And therefore he said, these are very momentous things where you are in the glaze of entire world. Chitrakoot, everybody is glazed.
Absolutely. And isn't the epic full of such stories and anecdotes that inspire life?
You are
Mr.
just
Makkanlal,
two, there are many.
Yes, I'm
but,
sure.
but appreciate you joining us in this conversation, and for the viewers.
Thank you very
those are
much,
the,
sir. Thank you. Such a pleasure
Thank you,
talking
sir.
to you.
With the visuals that you were watching are the aerial shots of Ayodhya as it is all geared up, all set to celebrate. Thousands of special guests have also come in. We'll show you those visuals. Those are aerial shots of Ayodhya. Ayodhya, which is the center of attraction today of the entire country and the world. The consecration of Sri Ram temple is set to take place in just a short while from now. Just over an hour, Prime Minister Narendra Modi would be here. He would be leading the rituals as the consecration of the Ram
Can
temple
you notice
happens.
those flags from the aerial view gives you a bird's eye view of Ayodhya. And as we stay with these visuals, let me also have this opportunity to welcome all the way from San Diego in US, Aditya Satsangi joining us live, author, scholar. He's the founder of the Sathology and author of the multiple books, including Debunking Mythology, has written extensively about Lord Ram's presence, not only in, not confirmed confined to the Indian subcontinent, but elsewhere in the world as well. Thank you very much, Aditya ji, for joining us. To begin with, what are your feelings as we, inch closer to the Pran Pratishtha ceremony? And it seems that this day has once again connected us with our Indian diaspora, and the way the celebrations and the festivities have been happening since last 1 week. According to you, extremely historical and unprecedented day for Indians watching, who are going to be actually glued to their television sets watching the Pran Pratishtha ceremony.
I mean, first of all, Jai Shri Ram to all your viewers and to both of you as well. And it's indeed an honor to speak about Shri Ram anywhere at any platform. And I have a big celebration going on at home with all the guests coming at home.
Okay.
And also hosts who are celebrating Shri Ram and watching it live right now. When I was writing my book, and I was simply blown away by the geographical spread of Valmiki Ramayana. When Bhagwan Ram when Valmiki writes about Shri Ram, he writes in a very different way. He presents the geography of the entire planet Earth. Because for Shri Ram, he searched for Mother Sita in every single continent. For your viewers, I'll tell you, Australia is called Shalmali Dweep in Valmiki Ramayana. South America is called Pushkar Dweep in Valmiki Ramayana.
Okay.
North America is called Kronch Dweep in Valmiki Ramayana. Asia is called Jambu Dweep, and Europe is called Shaka Dweep. Every single land they searched, Africa is called Plakshadweep. And not only they search on the land, they search under the ocean as well. Because Ravana was so powerful, he could have hid Sita under the ocean also. So for many people who cast aspersions on Sri Ram's character, they should know that Bhagwan Ram did not leave literally any stone unturned on the entire planet Earth for his beloved wife Sita. And when I was reading these descriptions and started mapping out the places,
Okay.
and I've written 2 books on this, the original atlas and also the One Arrow, One Kill. And in India it's called the Global Footprint of Ramayana. And I also started verifying those places. You will be shocked to know,
Okay.
in Peru, Candelabra Paracas is a very famous place which is called Yagya Vedika on the mountain. And it is mentioned in Valmiki Ramayana, and I did not use any other second reference. I just went to that place, and it's called Udaygiri Pahad.
In Peru?
In Sanskrit, in Peru.
Okay.
And I went there and I recorded it in my videos. I sent it to your team as well, those videos, where I actually said, Ramayana says this, and this is actually here. Ramayana says this, and this is actually here. And people will be shocked to know the entire story. So there are multiple references of Ramayana in many Purana, and there is no contradiction whatsoever. I could not find any contradiction,
And Aditya,
even though I'm a very scrutinized reader.
Aditya,
Yes.
as you speak, we're also showing those live visuals of the beautiful Ram temple, all decked up. In just over an hour, on your screens, viewers, you can see the beautiful Ram temple, all decked up with flowers and colors, all ready for the Pran Pratishtha ceremony that Prime Minister Narendra Modi would be participating in, along with other priests. Aditya, I understand that your books, in a way, also address the debate over Ramayana, the legacy of Lord Ram, between mythology and history, as you were saying that those places actually have been identified across the world as far as the geographic locations are concerned. But these events that happen to have happened millennia ago, how do we in the 21st century look at these and look at Lord Ram as a figure that connects civilizations, connects people? But that is the sort of value that is perhaps lacking, the divisions that we see all around us. One looks for a figure, one looks for a legacy that unites people. In that context, how do you look at the legacy of Lord Ram?
Great question, actually. Great question, Subhenduji. And the thing is, we have to stop looking at Ramayana, Mahabharata history from the eyes of Europeans, number one. Stop reading English translations. Even though I write in English, but I think in Sanskrit. And my principal language is Sanskrit. And then from that, I deduce all this information. I don't read any translations at all. And I wrote my book in such a way that do not distort the meaning of the Sanskrit word over there. So when you read from Valmiki's perspective, through the eyes of Valmiki, because Valmiki is a live historian, like he is actually recording when incidents are happening right there. And Lav and Kush, the two sons of Ram, studied under Valmiki, and they explained the entire incident to Sri Ram in front of Sri Ram. And Ram said, Bhagwan Ram said, that how do these boys know about me so well? And that endorses Valmiki's history, that Valmiki wrote absolutely correctly. Now to the second part of your question, that's how I invented the word mythology, because there was no antonym of word mythology in English language. So by etymological, grammatical rules, mythology is an accurate antonym of mythology.
Okay.
Now, when I am writing this, when I wrote this book, now one thing I can tell you, rivers can change path. Like for example, Shornabhadra River, which flows from southwest to northeast of India, during Ramayana period, it was flowing between the Girivraj mountains, which is called Rajgir today. But during Mahabharata time, the river is flowing way north of the Girivraj mountains, which is known as Rajgir today. Now, rivers can change path, but mountains don't change path. Mountains have stayed constant all over during the entire planet, since when the Earth was formed.
All right, Aditya ji, I'm going to request you to please stay with us. We will come to you and have this continue our conversation in a bit from now. But legendary singer Sonu Nigam, besides others, there are many of them there in Ayodhya. He's performing live in Ayodhya.
Singer Sonu Nigam performing Ram Bhajan in Ayodhya as the moments are getting closer when that very special consecration ceremony will begin. Joining us in the studio now is Dr. Hiraman Tiwari, Professor Indian Culture and History from JNU. Welcome, sir. Now, Jai Shri Ram, sir.
Jai Shri Ram.
Not many historians may be able to witness history in the making. How do you see the significance of this day in India's cultural consciousness and history?
Thank you very much, Shubhendu-ji, and I think you and Sakalji and everybody part of this ceremony are very, very lucky. It is a momentous day, as you said. It is a historic day, but more importantly, we can never imagine India, its civilization, its culture, its ethos without Ram. That is the basic point. Now, a lot of things have been said, and history has rather crude reminders for all of us. And when we say that it has been not only 500 odd years of struggle to get what actually should have always been the symbol of India, that is Ram. He is an ideal. He is not only an ideal, he is considered Mahapurush. I shall come to that in historical textual context. But to have his birthplace, which millions and millions of people for thousands of years have believed, not been there in controversy where people are questioning whether this was the birthplace of Ram. When an identity of a civilization and country is so intertwined with Lord Ram, not only a Lord Ram, but an ideal human being, a Maryada Purushottam, on the occasion of the Prana Pratishtha of his Vigraha in Ayodhya, it has to be a moment where we all get into tears. Our throats are choked. Those of us, I'm not talking about any sort of a strident position of being part of this civilization, but he will and has always been a symbol of what India stands for: harmony, compassion, hard work, dedication, truthfulness, all these qualities which we keep talking about, but he symbolized it. And if you look at the textual tradition right from the Valmiki Ramayana, what he says, you have two epics. You see, Dr. Radhakrishnan, one of our presidents, had said that most of the countries of the world don't even have one national epic. India is fortunate to have two. So the other national epic, that is the Mahabharata, if you look at it, the description of Ram in the Mahabharata is so sweet, so unique, the Ramopakhyan. The entire Ramayana, if you read it, I'm taking you back to the Sanskrit tradition, and then you come back to later on. So it is a day where we are lost for words to describe how we feel. We just feel it, this epiphany of emotions that is falling on us.
And the fact, the humongous geographical spread of Lord Ram and his teachings across the globe. Traditionally, people would talk about Southeast Asia, but this is beyond. We will talk about that point. We will talk, but let's once again cut live to Ayodhya, the center of attention, the center of gravity.
The center of earth.
Ayodhya. Live Ayodhya on your screens.
Of celebrations at the premises of Sri Ram Temple in Ayodhya. We're getting, with every moment, closer to the moment that millions of devotees and followers in India and across the world are waiting for the consecration of Sri Ram Temple in Ayodhya. Dr. Hiraman Tiwari from JNU continues to be with us. Sir, as an academic, when you engage with your students, there's a diversity of divine figures, perhaps, in Indian cultural and religious traditions. What sets Lord Ram apart from others?
You just said it, Shveduji, that the diversity. Ram himself is so diverse. If you look at read the Ramayana, when he returns, as we celebrate his return from his 14 years of exile, Tulsi says there were so many people, like today, hundreds and hundreds and thousands of people. How do they meet their Ram? And he suddenly transforms himself into as many. Now you can talk about Freud, you can talk about any psychological issue, but this is how his personality has been portrayed. I was earlier talking about he's not just a Maryada Purushottam, he's not just a Lord. In the later part of our civilizational texts, you must have heard the Srimad Bhagavat Purana, which talks about the story of Shri Krishna.
And on the point of diversity, sir, if I may also say that there are so many traditions of worship. Some worship Lord Ram as an idol. Some worship the Ram Nam.
Absolutely.
So that also...
India is absolutely rich in this tradition. So there is a Ram Nami tradition. There is a Ramayana which has never been written, yet it exists. So there are so many versions of the Ramayana that we have where Ram is constant. Why? Because he is an overarching figure. It's almost impossible to find another character in any civilization. And I'm not overstating, I'm saying with some confidence of having some studies around. So you find there are very, very rare moments where you find a flaw. If that flaw is there that we see in ourselves. So in that context, I go back to your initial question, how momentous it is, how historic this moment it is. And I think we are witnessing, we are lucky thousands and thousands years after today, I feel, our generations will say that our forefathers witnessed this moment. Why? Because it was a very violent removal of a birthplace, of a temple, and it's not a reparation. It is something that should have been done long ago, and beautifully in India, we have got it through judicial process, through sort of democratic process, and therefore the joy is many times more rich than we otherwise would have. So therefore, and then Prana Pratishtha itself.
We will talk about Pran Pratishtha as well. And again, these are live visuals. I think that's Anuradha Paudwal, famous Indian playback singer who is also very popular with the devotional songs. Let's hear her live from Ayodhya. From our author scholar guest joining us live from San Diego, Aditya Satsangi. Your final word, Aditya ji, since you have written extensively on Lord Ram and civilizational footprints of Hinduism, and particularly Lord Ram, his legacy, Ramayana. What does this mean for the country by and large, and the message that goes across?
So, Bhagwan Ram, you have to see in multiple aspects. And one of the aspects is Raja Ram. So we have a Ram Lalla coming, but Raja Ram aspect is what is important for India. So based on the geographical spread of our Ramayana, I think the Indian foreign policy, and S. Jaishankar ji is a wonderful person who studies history, and his book, latest book is also out. They can use Valmiki Ramayana and as a basis of global diplomacy. You will be shocked to know every single part of the world was paying taxes to Ayodhya.
Yes.
And I have proved it with references. And the Nishk was the currency of Ayodhya, Nishk.
Okay.
And that ancient name is there. And people may ask me that, how can you say in 21st century? That was a relevant question actually. And I say, nothing in values has changed since Treta Yuga. Even today, people are looking for health, people are looking for well-being, people are looking for truth. all those values have not changed. Circumstances have changed.
Okay, on
And
that
so-
note, yes, please finish your sentence. I'm sorry,
So with that keeping in mind, I think the Valmiki Ramayana and this great temple and what we are seeing right now, a civilizational moment, which I'm very grateful to see. This incident can change the entire character of the Indian state,
Really?
which is supposed to take care of the whole planet. Yes. Yes,
Okay,
ma'am.
the kingdom of India, if I may use the word. Huh? Okay, Aditya ji.
I will say Lokatantra. Lokatantra is a stronger word.
Yes, and the rule of law. Thank you very much. In fact, you were telling us earlier that you have friends coming over and watching the Pran Pratishtha ceremony live on the channel. And I think you all there in US and different parts of the world are going to be glued to their television sets. You're going to have a long night today. Thank you very much, Aditya Satsangi, for joining us from San Diego. And quickly go across to DD India's correspondent, Kriti, joining us live from Delhi, outside one of the temples. She's going to take us through, beautiful orange sari, Kriti. I think that says it all. And let's have you full frame on the screen and take us through the fervor there, wherever you are, and tell us more.
can't
Sri Ram. Entire nation and all across the world, we can see the hail to the arrival of Lord Ram.
Go ahead.
And here in the heart of National Capital Region of Delhi, we are at Hanuman Temple in Connaught Place area. And to tell you, not just my sari is saffron, but Delhi is dressed up like a saffron bride wearing a saffron veil. It appears to be so beautiful. And here, since morning, it is a scene of festivity all around. And we're joined by a senior official from BJP and a member from NTMC zone. We will be talking to him more about the preparations of what they have planned for NTMC area. We are joined by Shri Kuljeet Singh Chahal ji. Sir, we welcome you on DD India on this auspicious day. So what is the feel, what's the vibe of this morning?
मैं सबसे पहले डीडी न्यूज के माध्यम से पूरे देश को जय श्री राम का एक उद्घोष करता हूं। आप देखेंगे पूरा मंदिर का प्रांगण, पूरा एनडीएमसी क्षेत्र एक ही गूंज रहा है, जय श्री राम जय श्री राम। हमने एनडीएमसी में जितने भी हमारे धार्मिक स्थान थे, मार्केट एसोसिएशंस थे, जितने भी आरडब्ल्यूएस के से सबके साथ बैठकर मीटिंग करी, किस तरह से साफ सफाई, स्वच्छता, माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी का जो संकल्प था स्वच्छ तीर्थ, उसमें लेके भारत सरकार के कई मंत्री यहाँ आके बाकी गए अलग अलग जगहों पर, और एक ही धुन है राम राम राम। आज हम देखेंगे देश में कन्याकुमारी से लेके क्षीर भवानी तक, केदारनाथ से लेके सोमनाथ तक, अंडमान से लेके अजमेर तक, अमृतसर साहिब से लेके पटना साहिब तक, आज देश का कोई भी कोना हो, आज कामाख्या से लेके आप नीचे रामेश्वरम तक, एक ही धुन है, जय श्री राम जय श्री राम। राम नाम का आज पूरा देश हो gaya है। आप घरों पे देखोगे तो राम ध्वजा लहरा रही है। जिस तरह से माननीय प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी के नेतृत्व में भारत एक विकसित भारत बन रहा है, जो सपना 140 करोड़ देशवासियों ने देखा था, राम मंदिर भव्य बनेगा, आज वो सपना पूरा होने जा रहा है। राम अयोध्या आ रहे हैं, प्राण प्रतिष्ठा होगी 12 बजे माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी के नेतृत्व में। और आप देखोगे इस सब तैयारियों का सुरक्षा एजेंसीज ने भी किस तरह से तैयारियों में जुटी हुई है, चारों तरफ है। तो राम में देश हो चुका है, राम देश में हो चुके हैं और भारत के राम है।
Bharat Ke Ram, that's what he's trying.
Kriti, thank you for those inputs. We taking you again live to Ayodhya, where iconic singer Shankar Mahadevan is performing.
गणित अमित छवि नवनील नीरद सुंदरम पटपीत शुचि शुचि नौमि जनक सुतावरम श्री राम श्री राम श्री राम श्री राम। भज दीन बंधु दिनेश दानव दैत वंश निकंदनौ। भज दीन बंधु दिनेश दानव दैत्य वंश निकंदनौ। रघुनंद आनंद कंद कौशल चंद दशरथ नंदनौ। श्री रामचंद्र कृपालु भज मन हरण भव भय दारुणौ।
The spectacular visuals of Sri Ram temple in Ayodhya and musical performances, bhajan, underway as is in the traditions of Indian culture. There Shankar Mahadevan giving that performance. Dr. Hiraman Tiwari from JNU continues to be with us. Dr. Tiwari, in fact, why don't we talk about these traditions of bhajan, kirtan, song, music, which is so intrinsic to take the message of the Lord, to take the message of values to different corners of the world. How does this fit into the cultural tradition that you were talking about?
Sweduji, I must repeat myself. This is actually our tradition. This is how we celebrate our life, we celebrate gods, we celebrate our culture and civilization. And who better than Lord Ram to sing bhajans for, pray to him, celebrate him simply. Because he is the one, the Valmiki Ramayana says, Valmiki says that even the gods envy of Ram. They want to be like Ram. So that is why he is called Maryada Purushottam. I was talking to you earlier in our history how this civilization has evolved in the Srimad Bhagavad Purana. Vyasa says that there is a person who is called Mahapurusha. And the reason for Mahapurusha, a grand person, a unique person. Why? Because a person who can abandon such a high kingdom, such a rich kingdom at one simple word of his father and has no remorse, no sadness, no pain, but then goes to the forest and runs after an illusionary deer. Why? Because his beloved wanted him so. That is the definition of a Mahapurusha. That he can abandon a real kingdom and run after an imaginary deer. That is the level to which the idealism of Ram establishes. And you go back to the Ramayana, where his mother says, why are you going to the forest? You don't have to be a king, but remain here. And he says, no, I must fulfill my words or my father's words, because that is the truth, that is dharma, because the kingdom, the life, the earth is short, while walking on the path of dharma is extremely supreme. Adirgha kale natu devi jivite vrane varamadya mahima dharmataha. This kingdom to me is nothing before performing my dharma.
I think we have some live sound bites coming.
That is the holiest. We saw another god of cricket.
Okay, we can just replay that. Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm saying that you said that lots of personalities, lots of people are there. I suddenly saw whom I call the god of cricket, Sachin Tendulkar there.
Yeah,
you have lots of great people there.
Galaxy of stars that have descended there, but it's not the star power that's the talking point of Ayodhya.
It is Ram.
The consecration ceremony, those 1 minute, 24 seconds. That Pran Pratishtha, if you could, there's so much written about it and the ritual and what happens after the ritual. How is it conducted?
Yes. So let me take you historically to the idea of Pran Pratishtha. What happens, it's called Vigraha or Murti as we call it, or an idol installation, or just installation. You know, the logo of Sri Ram Janmabhoomi Vinyas is Ramo Vigrahavan Dharmaha. If you read that logo, it's called Ramu, and that is a verse coming from the Valmiki Ramayana. And who is telling that? This is Marichi telling Raman, don't pick fight with Ram. He Ramo Vigrahavan Dharmaha Sadhu Satya Parakrama. He is a Vigraha. He is a Dharma personified in form of his men. So he is a human being. He is a dharma in the form of human being. Ramo Vigrahavan Dharmaha.
Anyway.
So the idea is that and he is sadhu, he is such a gentle person. He is truthful and he is also full of valor. Therefore, do not take a fight with him. This is Marichi, the mama of Ravana, telling Ravana not to pick fight with him. My point was that this Vigraha, when it is Prana Pratishtha, doesn't necessarily mean that Prana Pratishtha doesn't necessarily mean that you are not injecting any life into it. It's just a celebration of life, and that, as you said, one moment, a few seconds. This with the mantrochara, this ritual that is being performed, where we simply begin to see Lord Ram in that Vigraha, who is already there. It's just awakening him. If you remember, lots of songs that have been sung by Shubha Lakshmi and many others.
Let's also reflect upon that connect between history and mythology. This coming together of history, mythology, and the journey, I think the road to this day.
Sakal, this is an excellent question. I must say that, you know, this is the area that I struggle to study and teach my students with. Mythology is something that is not so relevant to our Indian civilization. Mythology is a very Western term, it's a very Greek term. It doesn't really fit into, because for want of a better term, we use mythology, but our civilization is reflected in the unbroken chain of traditions and texts, and something that is so far away, that is so distant from us, and that we cannot find a direct proof in front of our eyes or ears, and then we begin to call it mythology, because this is how the Western mythology has been established. So there is no mythology in India. It's all stories, and stories which have happened, and people who have celebrated them. Sometimes they could be in exaggerated form, sometimes, but there is something, as I said, you have hundreds of Ramayana where Ram is constant. His character is constant.
That adds that X factor to India's cultural footprints, our legacy, our civilization. I wouldn't use the word superior, but in many ways.
Exactly. I mean, you said it.
The way we outshine, the way India, I mean, look, if the Vedas that we have, the Upanishads that we have, the epics that we have.
So Sakalji, the point is that you just said it. See, in our case, what happens is just that somehow, I don't want to make a political point, but somehow over the last 100 odd years or 75 years in particular, we were somehow trained psychologically that not to feel very happy about being what civilization we are. We were made to feel guilty. Now the idea is, if you read the literature, if you read, as you said, mentioned the term history, somewhere you can find archaeological evidence of history, that is fantastic, but the textual evidence cannot be without certain foundation, and the text after text after text, century after century after century, if the same thing is constant, not only in Hinduism, but in Buddhism, in Jainism, you have this Jaina Ramayana, you have Buddhist Ramayana. Why is it that everybody wants to celebrate Ram slightly in a different way. But it is that constant that you talked about, and which is why in the world civilization we remain, as some people have called it, enigma. We as Naipaul beautifully call it enigma because it's so difficult.
We as in what?
We as a Indian civilization and culture. Why? Because it's so difficult to appreciate or box it in a way that is already given there. So as I said, if mythology is not the term that we can use for our past, certain texts, then there is a problem. There is a certain kind of framework in which if you put something, it is visible. For India, you and I and Shivenduji all understand it. But when we put this question, sometimes it's so difficult to explain. How do we explain it? Because we live it.
So is that what we call eternal religion?
That is what is called eternity. That is called Sanatana.
Yes.
And even the Buddha said, Esa Dhammo Sanantana.
Central to the concept of
Central to the
Sanatana
core of
eternal.
Indian civilization is that it is constant, it is unbroken, it can never be broken. And therefore, today, you and I feel, I don't know when it happened, there was one temple at 12, which was built in 12th century, which was demolished. Then before that, there was a temple. Every time Prana Pratishtha takes place, the same spirit, the same emotions, the same civilizational epiphany, I call it, simply comes in. And that is what is going to happen in that 1 minute or so.
We will continue our conversations, and yes, everyone waiting for those moments when beautiful temple that you see on the screen, Sri Ram temple in Ayodhya. Those visuals are coming in from there, all decked up beautifully. And thousands of special guests, millions of followers in the country and across the world await that moment. Meanwhile, we are getting visuals and reactions from different walks of life. We have people from the Indian film industry, Anu Malik and Prasoon Joshi, also sharing their thoughts. Let's listen in.
It's a beautiful feeling, and I'm very happy to be here and waiting for that, as all of us are anticipating the moment when actually the Ram Pratishtha will happen. And that is something which cannot be controlled. It just happens to you. You don't plan it. It's just the tears well up in your eyes. And right now I'm here with everybody, and I'm grateful to Lord Sri Ram and Hanumanji that I, amongst billions of people, I'm one of them who has come here.
आज के युग में भगवान राम के आदर्शों की बहुत ही बड़ी आवश्यकता है। हमारे युवाओं को, आने वाली पीढ़ी को, विश्व को, जिस दौर से विश्व गुजर रहा है, उस पर अगर हम देखें, मर्यादा पुरुषोत्तम भगवान श्री राम के आदर्शों से हमारा बहुत कल्याण हो सकता है। चाहे वो अपने संबंधों को निभाने की बात हो, चाहे अपने दायित्वों को निभाने की बात हो, अपने कर्तव्यों को निभाने की बात हो, भगवान श्री राम आज के लिए बहुत ही ये बहुत बड़ा क्षण मैं समझता हूँ।
It is a historical event, and it's a dream of all the Indians for last so many decades. I mean to say more than 500 years, their wishes going to come true. Such an overwhelming feeling what I've been undergoing, and we are so fortunate to witness the consecration of this Prana Pratishtha or Vigraha Sthapana on this auspicious event, and which will be remind for lifetime and the history.
We're joined in by Anil Kumble, who is here on the invitee list for the consecration ceremony. Sir, there's a lot of excitement. Have you been around Ayodhya and at this place? What's the feeling?
It's wonderful to be a part of this divine occasion. Truly blessed. Both my wife and I are here, and it's a great honor to be a part of this divine occasion. So really looking forward to it.
And so a number of sports persons have also been invited. So how do you look at that?
I think it's like I mentioned, blessed to be a part of that list and to be a part of this occasion. Yes.
Any plans of visiting around Ayodhya after this?
Yes, we will certainly. After the consecration, we will certainly seek blessings, and then we'll go around. I'm sure we'll keep coming back to Ayodhya.
I feel I'm the luckiest person in the earth, and also the blessings of my ancestors and family members, and also blessings of Ram Lalla. It is really, sometimes I feel like I'm in a dream world.
And that,
sometimes he feels that he's in the dream world.
Yes, and the person that you were listening to is Arun Yogiraj, the sculptor of the Ram Lalla idol that in a short while from now is going to be part of the Pran Pratishtha moment and ritual. And he's a renowned sculptor. Many of his works are sort of positioned across the country. The Subhash Chandra Bose statue, of course, at India Gate being one of them. Those were some of the visuals and reactions coming in from the temple town of Ayodhya. Professor Tiwari continues to be with us. Now, Ayodhya, the whole world seems to be looking at it. The who's who congregating there. Prime Minister in a short while will be participating in the Pran Pratishtha. It is referred to as an eternal town, eternal city in many writings. What makes it special? What makes an identity of a town survive for millenniums?
One word, Ram. That is one thing. Now we can elaborate on that. See, this is in a way a center of idealism and civilization that Sakal was earlier talking about. What is it that makes us so unique, so different, so mesmerizing? Why does India beckon people in who might have a lot of prejudice against us? Somehow we are like that kind of light where the flies are simply running away and perhaps disappearing, but we keep burning in that sense. Now there have been ups and downs, there have been lots of problems in our civilization, but Ram and India, as I said initially, without Ram there is no India no matter what happens. Even there are people who may not like what is happening.
That's okay.
But that is not something. They're also equally a dear part of our country and civilization. Right. And this is what, again, I'm referring to the beautiful sentence that Sakal mentioned. What is it? What is it that makes us so different, so
sets
attractive,
us apart,
so beckoning? Everything. India beckons everybody, and we are, and Ayodhya beckons everybody. Today we are sitting here, as I said, I feel elated. On top of the moon, if there was one, India has reached there. But we all feel that we are there and we are watching. And you mentioned about this Yogiraj ji, who is a great sculptor who has brought life to many, many statues. But in this Vigraha, of course, we will learn how he has gone on and prepared this idol, this Pratima, this Vigraha of Ram, which will be consecrated, as you said, or Prana Pratishtha will happen. That everybody has begun to think so. So in India, civilization is something that you see God in everything.
Yep.
Yes.
People make fun of us that how could we worship a stone? But that stone,
that faith
in our village, the language is mano to Bhagwan nahi to patthar.
Right, and
so it's a question of our emotions, our civilizational heritage, the baggage that we carry, and that how wonderful heavy baggage that is.
Yes, Professor Tiwari, and for those of us who've been to Ayodhya, I was there during the foundation laying of the temple. We remember it as a temple town, a sleepy temple town. People living their simple daily lives with Lord Ram being the centrality of it. Sakal, you were there in the past weeks filing beautiful stories of the preparation.
Thank you so much.
What was it for you like?
For the uninitiated, as far as Ayodhya is concerned, sir, I had the blessed opportunity to go there as a journalist and shoot extensively. There is something about Ayodhya which cannot be described in words. It's the feeling, it's the essence, it's the faith, it's the devotion. Everything and anything in Ayodhya is about Ram, Lord Ram. People breathe Lord Ram. They talk, and without any exaggeration, whether it is its ageless legacy, the antiquity, you walk through the lanes and by-lanes of Ayodhya, every temple, whether it is Dashrath Mahal or Hanuman Gadi, Kanak Bhavan, then a little bit on the outskirts, Makhoda Dham, then that Mani Parvat, every lane by lane, nook, corner, ancient, known, unknown temples. Many of them are, I wouldn't say in ruins, they are being restored, but you know those old structures dating back to I don't know how many civilizations. Let me finish the sentence, sir. So there is this chapter, each and every chapter from epic Ramayana.
Absolutely. And
you feel that you are in a different world altogether.
My village is not very far away from that place, so I have been there. since my childhood. The first time I remember, and I'll tell you
what place, sir?
A little anecdote. My village is near Daryabad, which is some 60 kilometers from Ayodhya. But my relative, my sister, is married to that city. So I've been going there since the age of 11. But the first time when I went there, I was one of those who managed to get into that old structure. I was sneaked into as a boy. And I have seen Ram Lala inside that structure, under that gumbad, and I cannot describe that emotions. You could imagine in the 70s as a young boy, and since then hundreds of times I have been there, every gully, every nook and corner, not only as a tourist, but as a person who just happened to be there because I had to go and meet my sister and roam around for whatever the reasons. So for people like us, it is of course I was away during the momentous days for over 12 years in Oxford. So I wasn't here when all this happened there, but I was keeping myself absolutely abreast of what is happening. But nevertheless, that city, as you said, each city somehow tells the story of Rama. It tells the story of India. It tells the story of what we are. And therefore, as Shubhendu said, it is a sleepy town. And until now it was. Why was it a sleepy town?
Not anymore.
The question that we all need to ask ourselves.
Yes.
Why was deliberately meant to be like that? But the point is that now that it has come back to its life, our Ram Lala is back where he should have been.
You know, people there, they greet each other with Jai Siya Ram. If you just walk into, in the evenings particularly, randomly you can just cross a lane or cross a house, Shubhendu, that's what we did. The family of four, they were chanting Jai Ram, Siya Ram, Jai Ram, Siya Ram. It's part of their daily life, it's part of their routine. And they tell you that their wait of 500 years is finally over.
I remember, I mean, at least the number could be wrong, but I think there are over 1,000 temples in that city. Yes. Small place, very small place. Now, of course, I haven't been there for a few years.
But you know,
the whole, as you said, that the entire city is Ramamaya.
Yeah.
And if that city can transform not only India, but as you were discussing earlier, the entire world, Ramamaya, then it's something.
Now, Ayodhya is also transformed. Well, that's another template, another big story that is associated with
Professor Tiwari, as we look at the visuals of this beautiful
temple,
Ram temple, beautifully decked up, stones, works that have been made possible by artisans from all over the country. Let's talk about the structure as well. If you could tell us about, there's a Nagar Shaili we learned.
This is a Nagar Shaili. I'm not an expert in architecture, but I know a little bit about it. But the temple, of course, there are three most important factors that we must recognize a temple with, and that is the stambhas that you can see, the pillars, then the garbhagriha, and this is top. These are the three gross structures that you can simply see, and then of course the entire periphery, all the facilities that go with it, the place to bathe, the place to wash yourself clean before you go and see the deity. And in modern time, of course, these days, and even in ancient times, the comfort for the devotees who are visiting there.
Let's, as we are with the visuals, let's talk a bit about the temple structure as well. This has been constructed in the traditional Nagar style, as Shubhendu just mentioned. In fact, the temple is 3-storied, with each floor being 20 feet tall, and they say that there are a total of 392 pillars and 44 doors. There are 5, you were right, 5 mandaps or halls, and their names are Nritya Mandap, Rang Mandap, Sabha Mandap, Prarthana and Kirtan Mandaps. The entry is from the east as per Vastu is concerned, Vastu Shastras, and devotees will have to climb these 32 stairs that we see through the Singh Dwar of the temple. The reports are suggesting, we were talking about the transformation of Ayodhya. There are provisions of ramps and lifts for the convenience of the differently abled and elderly. Besides, of course, the railway station revamped, and your city is revamped, refurbished, the roads are refurbished, and of course, the airport.
It's also fascinating that when we talk about construction work in our daily lives, so we don't talk about hundreds of thousands of years. We don't have that sort of a projection, and the makers of this temple have said that this temple has been built to last for thousands of years ahead. There is no iron or steel used in the construction. In simple terms, iron and steel after a certain decades begin to rust the structure is affected.
Sakal was talking about the transformation of Ayodhya, which I keep reading. As I said, I'm still to go there and visit how it really has become after what my memory of the city is. 108 ponds. They are all being cleaned up and repaired. Temples, as Sakal said, are being repaired. The streets are being repaired. And as you said, every facility that a visitor should have in modern times. And why should it not? Why should they not? They must have all the facilities. And therefore, I believe the hotel companies, these chains will also like to make hotels you and I, those of us who have become more comfortable with a different kind of lifestyle, can go and visit without really feeling bad about it.
Dr. Tiwari, I should also mention and inform our viewers that, of course, that sort of an infrastructure is coming up and is required in any temple town. But what speaks volumes about the generosity of the people of Ayodhya is that because this consecration ceremony had to happen now and it takes time to build an infrastructure, even small households have opened their doors for people coming from Ayodhya.
Not only have they opened their doors, one knows very well that they have given up their front, their sides to make the roads comfortable so that the infrastructure can be built.
That's a beautiful story of coexistence.
It's a different story. But as you said, this is a massive economic story as well. Let's not forget that any development of this kind happens. It is also the economic and cultural prosperity that go hand in hand. I happen always to believe that there is always the economic and social side to any religious or cultural occasion.
True.
When you perform a yagya, even a wedding, how many people are involved whose livelihood are attached to it? Your caterers, your flowerwalas, taxis, all these things. So any city that is developed in this way, it doesn't necessarily have to be a stock market building. It is a stock market of the world, civilization, where everything, and that is why you have these tents that have been, temporary tents that have been installed.
In that context, perhaps many youths leave their smaller cities and towns to go to metro cities to look for work, but if developments and these opportunities come up in their own towns,
people will return to their places, and the city, of course, this city now will attract, as you said, the railway station has been fully transformed, newly built, lovely Valmiki airport is there, not very far away, the roads have been widened, the comfort level of any kind of tourist, whether from India or from abroad, has to be kept in mind.